Alright, y'all. Today I'm going to be showing you a really easy deep fried Cornish game hen. For this we have a thawed out game hen, some garlic powder, some ground mustard, some onion powder, some paprika, and some white pepper. We also have some eggs, and we got some flour back here. So first things first, we need to get this game hen in a bowl, but we need to get this thing dried off, all the water, as much water off this thing as we can. So I'll bring you back. Alright, y'all, so we have our game hen in our bowl. Now we drained as much water off of it as we could, and now we're gonna go ahead and damp this, pat this all up with a paper towel. You want to make sure you get as much water off this thing as possible for safety reasons. Another thing for safety, yes, even make sure the inside of this thing is, what does water do when it hits oil? Nothing good. Also, make sure your bird is 100% thawed out. Alright, for our seasonings, let's go ahead and start out with a tablespoon and a half, roughly, of ground mustard. A tablespoon and a half of garlic powder, roughly. Okay, then we're also going to do a tablespoon and a half of garlic powder. Now this looks like a lot, but it ain't. We're going to do a tablespoon, or if you don't want as much bite, don't do a tablespoon. If you want a little more bite, do a little more than a tablespoon. Tablespoon of that paprika. And here, we're going to do about 3/4 of a tablespoon of white pepper. Now, just take our hands, and we're going to get this entire bird absolutely coated in this. Now I'm going to wash my hands. We're going to roll that back to the side real quick. We've got a little bowl here. In this bowl, let's go ahead and do 4 eggs. Now we're just going to go ahead, get these eggs all scrambled up and mixed up. Okay, that's aside real quick. We'll bring our Cornish game hen back, and we're just going to dump this egg on over. Again, just go ahead, get that thing coated in egg. Now I'm going to cover this thing with some saran wrap, put it in my fridge while our oil gets to heating up. Once our oil's warmed up, I'll bring you back. Alright, y'all, so our oil temp is about 275. We need it to come up to about 320, 350. But while it's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cover this Cornish game hen. We've got a bag of just an amount of flour. I didn't measure it out, I just dumped in what I thought I might need. Give that game hen one more toss in the egg. Drop that down into our bag. Go ahead, seal our bag. Move that bowl out of the way. And we're just gonna shake this up really well. Now, when it comes to frying poultry, there are safety things to be taken into consideration. This is a Cornish game hen. I'm pretty confident I can fry this inside safely. I am well versed on frying. I've fried plenty of things. If I was doing this anything bigger than a game hen, though, I would be frying this outside in my turkey fryer. So, if you don't feel comfortable doing this inside, take it outside. If you got a turkey fryer, if you got a grill with a burner on it, take it out there, do it out there. Because the oil will splitch and it will splatter. So there is the safety concerns. That's why I got this thing as dried as I could, because I knew I was doing it inside. Now our oil should be up to temp. I'm gonna go check it and then I'll bring you back. Alright y'all, so our temperature is about 325. We're gonna wanna maintain that temperature. It'll go down when we put our bird in, but we're just gonna, it will splitch and splatter, but we're gonna put this in very slowly. That way not too much moisture is hitting this oil at the same time. Now if you're doing this outside, a little overflow is not going to hurt too much. The fire will go out relatively quickly. But right now, by slowly putting it in and pulling it out, we're trying to seal as much of that moisture. We're evaporating most of that water off or sealing it in. Now we have safely got our bird submerged, and we're going to let that cook. So if you didn't notice, I positioned my breast to be up top because that's the thickest piece of that meat. Well, that's where we're going to get our temperature at. So, we are looking for an internal turn of 165. We are halfway there. Alright y'all, so we hit a temperature of about 170, so we're going to pull this out. I have prepared a spot for it on my counter over here. Let me get this out and I'll show you what I mean. Alright y'all, so I took it out, I placed it on a baking rack. Let me zoom you out here a second. I placed it on a baking rack. I used this to get it out. I held it above the oil, let as much oil drain out as possible. So I have the baking rack, sitting on some paper towels, which is on a cookie sheet. We're gonna let this oil drip off of this, let this Cornish game hen rest for a minute. So once it's rested for a few minutes, all we've got left is, if you want, you can eat this by itself if you're up to the challenge. It's probably 1 to 2 serving or 2 people's worth of meat here. If you have other sides to go with it, 2 people could split a Cornish game hen. But if you're just eating it by itself, 1 person could eat it. Now I just want to show you this. We're gonna pull, look at that. That leg bone pulled right out of there. When you fry a bird, an entire bird, You lock in that moisture, it doesn't really escape. You'll have the most moist piece of poultry ever. That's why I always deep fry my turkeys on Thanksgiving and Christmas. But if you like this recipe, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button down below. There's a video over here to the side that YouTube thinks you should watch. And if you enjoyed this one, you might as well watch the next one. Also, I know only 22% of y'all that watch these videos are actually subscribed. So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But until next time, keep on cooking on.